Hello. Hey. How's it going, guys? Or girls? Let's build a Dijeh. But first, let's get this Twitch stream going first. Hello, Fossil Parrot. I always feel kind of awkward for like the first few minutes of Twitch streaming because I know, or I don't know, how many people are actually in like right at the very beginning. So I don't want to like immediately dive into like explaining the details of something because I don't think anyone's going to hear it, and then I'm probably going to have to explain it again later. But you're in Tokyo at the moment buying kits. Well, that's good for you, and you're also on the same time zone as me, so that's good. Hello, Necrani. Faiz. Hey guys. Hey guys. I'll explain this now, but I'm sure I'm probably going to have to explain this again a little bit later once some more people get in the stream. But just before we get started here building the Dijeh, this is something that I am going to be doing, I think, at least for the time being from now on. As you may know, well, I know Necrani says it's his first time here on Twitch, but I don't stream on Twitch all that much. I think in all of last year, I probably streamed 5 times maybe, which is abysmal. Hey, what's up, Ricardo? But yeah, I've been looking for a way to stream more that fits with my schedule, and the problem is my schedule is so tight, so it's really kind of squeeze in any streaming anywhere. Because if you're unaware, usually what I do is when I'm snapping up kits for reviews, I'm building them, like I'm snapping up kits at my job, at my school, or where I'm a teacher at, in my downtime at work, obviously. And then I come home and then I make the reviews for you guys, and then I'm also working on other projects and everything else. So like usually when I'm in here, I'm recording videos. So I'm not actually building the kits here, so I don't want to stream the live buildings. I can't stream from school, obviously, and I don't want to build kits here. I don't want to spend too much time building kits here at home, because that's what I use my downtime at work to do. When I'm here, I would rather be recording other things, recording reviews or other things that I can't do at school. Yeah, building kits at work is pretty nice. Luckily, I usually have a few hours a day downtime, so that's when a lot of my video editing gets done as well, in between classes and stuff at school. So I'm kind of like cramming in everything as much as I can while I'm there at school in my downtime, when I'm not in class. Trentius, I should link my Twitch in my posts. Yeah, sorry, I don't know if you saw it on Instagram or on Twitter. I think on Instagram, I don't know if I can. I guess I can put the link in there. Anyway, yeah, just make sure you follow my Twitch. So, hey Armando. So this is my new plan from now on. I think this is what I'm gonna do. Is I'm going to take my kits to work, but instead of building them, I'll just remove all the nubs and everything, get them like all ready to be snapped up. So that's like the majority of the time, and then come home, and then later at night stream with you guys here on Twitch just the building process, which shouldn't take that long. For an HG kit, it should take 30 minutes or something, or it won't take all that long to get it put together. So that way, yeah, I can share with you guys like the actual building process. We can go through that together, and if you guys have any like questions straight away, you can ask them live while we're building, or we can talk about the kit a little bit during the building session, and then after this I can go ahead and do my review and then post that a little bit later. So yeah, so this is what I do when I'm snapping up kits. I use this kind of container. I've shown this before. So I'll just separate the parts. So I've got like the chest and backpack here, the waist section here, one leg, two leg, the head, left arm, right arm, and weapons. Really convenient containers for this if you're like me and you're kind of like, you want to be able to move stuff around, you're not just sitting at your desk at the same one desk all the time. Or even if you are, it's still just kind of convenient to use. If you like want to build a little bit at a time, then say you want to pick it up the next day, just close it up, make sure nothing gets spilled or anything. So yeah, if you guys, as always, if you guys have any questions you want to ask directly, just do me a favor and put it in all caps or something in the chat there, so that when I glance at the chat over here, I can see that more easily. Questions specifically about the kit, or even if you have just other questions about other things, that's fine too. So let's get started, shall we? Actually, the chest is the first thing you build, and the backpack is actually one of the last things you build, but I just put the chest and the backpack in there together because they're kind of all connected. So let me know what you guys think about this format. I think it'll be pretty good. So like what I can do is upload the unboxing video on YouTube, and then do this building video live on Twitch, and then record the review and then post the review on YouTube then later. And then I think probably maybe like I'll wait till like after the review's up, maybe a week later or something like that. I can pull the video off Twitch and upload that to YouTube as well, so that people who couldn't watch it on Twitch or whatever can later watch it on YouTube or something if they want. So I think this will be a pretty good system, I think. So let's get started. Any color schemes for an RE100 Mark III? I don't know. That's honestly, this is probably not the most helpful answer, but the first thing that comes to mind is that that's probably a mobile suit that would be very versatile in terms of color scheme, because it's basically just a pretty like cut and dry, simple Gundam design. So I think you can pretty much go a lot of ways with that. The Mark III has a little bit more kind of like a little bit menacing kind of evil look to it, sort of like the Zeta Gundam, but a little bit more so. So going with kind of like a darker kind of color scheme, I think would probably be good. More fitting for the Mark III. That we recently had out that red version of that was the P Bandai kit, and I think it looked pretty badass in red. So you could do red if you want, or if you want to be a little bit more creative. I don't know. Honestly, come to think of it, the Mark III would look probably pretty good, like in gold. If you painted it up kind of like Yakushiki, it'd probably look pretty cool. And I don't think I've ever seen one painted like that. So yeah. Fossil asked, have you built a Liger Zero? Yeah, I've built a couple of Zoids Liger kits. I've built the what's that? The Schneider, the orange one, and the Jaeger, the blue one. I have the Panzer, but I haven't built it yet. So again, these are all the parts for the torso and the backpack all here together. So this has the shoulder joint, which is similar like the Ifrit, which I was expecting. Honestly, when we were seeing like the first images of this kit and like the promotional images and everything, I was just thinking to myself like that it really looks like, in terms of just like the construction of the kit, I really expected it to be very similar to the HGUC Ifrit. So already right off the bat, just like the way the torso goes together and the shoulders, I can tell it's very similar to that. So if you've built that kit, or if you've seen reviews of the Ifrit, right off the bat, it's striking me like a very similar build. Yaminegira asks, any upcoming kit you are really excited for? Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff coming out that I'm really excited for. The new P Bandai version of the Woundwort, the Hazel 2, it's called. It's a version of the Woundwort, but it's called the Hazel 2. It's a little bit confusing, but I'm really excited for that. I'm actually really excited for the Neozeon 2. Those are both P Bandai kits, I know, but just two kits that I happen to be really looking forward to. What else is coming out? We just recently had the announcement of the SD Syscade, which I'm very excited for because I really like the design of the Syscade. If I had to choose which line that we would get a Syscade, the SD line would be my last choice. So I'm not really too pumped on the fact that it's an SD kit, but just the fact that it's a Syscade anything is good news, in my opinion. So I'm really excited for that either way. Hopefully that means that we might also get an RE100 or an HG kit of the Syscade at some point as well. So I'm really quite looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the, what's it called? The Maganak core kit. I don't know if they're just going to call it Maganak or, well, I didn't see what the official name they're calling it is. From Gundam Wing. That looks like it's going to be pretty cool as well. If it's anything like the Leo, which it does look like it's probably going to be very similar to the Leo, then it's going to be pretty awesome. And we can probably expect to see at least one or two P Bandai variants of that, again, like with the Leo. So there'll probably be just variants with a little bit different parts on it and different weapons and stuff. So that should be cool as well. Nobody likes P Bandai, but it'll be cool to get different versions of that kit as well, because those will be fun. And what else? It's just 2019 has just started, but there's a lot of stuff to look forward to this year. So, have you watched Gundam Narrative movie already? No, I have not watched Gundam Narrative yet. I watched the first 20 minutes part. That's on YouTube. But that is all that I've watched so far. So one polycap here for the, or two I guess, there's the polycap ball joint in the center, and polycap there for the neck. Really interesting though, I will say, the most interesting thing here, like I said, I was expecting the shoulders to be similar to the Ifrit, but the other interesting thing is that the red cockpit hatch part is on a ball joint as well. So I'm trying to show this to you. This red part here moves around like on a ball joint there, and it feels like that's going to be very loose, like it's going to pop off later. It doesn't feel really super tight on there, but hopefully it's going to be kind of sandwiched in among like the skirt armor and stuff as well, so that it shouldn't be too big of a problem. But that's interesting. That's the first time I think I've ever experienced something like that on an HG kit. Let's flip around here and check out the backpack next. Opinions on the Gundam Thunderbolt anime? It's fantastic, of course. Very nice. Love to see more of that. That's rather strange. Let's see. It's kind of weird the way this part goes together for the center of the backpack. This blue part is kind of like it's like held in there between this little red part inside and this gray part that it plugs onto. It's kind of weird. Is the MG Shinanju Stein NT version review in the works? No, the review of the new MG Shinanju Stein is coming. I'm going to review the kit, but I don't actually have the kit yet. I should probably get that sometime next week, and then the review will be coming a little bit later after that. Because I was on vacation and now back from vacation, I have a pretty substantial stack of kits that I need to review. So I got the Dijeh here. Tomorrow I'm probably going to be streaming same time, around the same time, and going to be building the RE100 Gun Easy tomorrow, and then review that. Then I also got the Shining Break. That's up next. And then the Figure Mechanics Haro, and then the RE Full Armor Unicorn. So those are all here that are on my immediate to-do list first, but then I also have those P-Bandai MG kits that I recently got. If you saw my last delivery video, I got the Kublai Damned and the Gundam Stormbringer and the Gundam F91 with the different backpacks, so a few P-Bandai MG kits that I need to review as well. And then some more Kotobukiya kits that I want to get to, a big stack of those as well. A Valvrave kit that I want to review, and the 1/12 scale V-Type Ultraman kit from Bandai that I want to review. And need to review. So a lot of things, like there's a lot of reviews that I need to get to in the next few weeks. So it's gonna be a pretty busy time. Just getting to all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff to do. So actually, to make the backpack here, I actually need the head to be able to plug in the little tube parts here that go into the back of the head. So I'm going to put this stuff here to the side for the moment and build the head first. That would be in here. Quite a few very tiny parts here for the head. And on its commander antenna, I usually will cut off the safety flag on that, but for the time being I'm going to leave it on there because I need to save that step for a later video. And I need some tweezers here for the stickers. Alright. Frame Arms Gentile. I don't have that kit. What IBO fossilized? What IBO kits would you think is best for beginner? Really, any of the IBO kits are good for beginners. They're all simple and, for the most part, relatively good kits. It's cool that we have two different eye options for this guy. You have the one with just the mono eye, and then you have the one with the mono eye and the Gundam eyes on there as well. Pretty interesting. I think I'm going to use just the regular mono eye part for in the head, because I feel like in the review I want to show off the eye option part with the Gundam eyes as well, and it's probably going to be hard to see that if that's actually in the head. So to be able to show that to you guys in the review, I think I'm going to leave that out of the head for now. And I'll use the one with just the mono eye camera. If I can get that sticker straight. It's kind of straight enough there. Careful with the antenna on this kit. I broke mine cutting it off the runner. Yeah, I noticed that when I was trimming the nubs on it earlier and like cutting off the runner, Ricardo, I also noticed that it seemed very fragile, so I went at it pretty carefully, yeah. I think I had even heard you say that already, or I saw you comment that something on Facebook or something, or you mentioned it in the chat before. I don't recall, but I don't think I was thinking that at the time when I was working on the kit earlier today, but now that you mentioned it, I do think I remember seeing you mention something about that before. But I gotta say, the way the head goes together is pretty cool. No seam lines really. I mean, all kinds of. I mean, there's lines between the parts, but they're done in a way that they don't look like seam lines that you would want to fill. They look like just kind of natural lines between armor kind of lines, basically. So that's pretty awesome. And I grabbed my knife too. I wasn't prepared. I didn't think I was gonna need it, but I want to make a sticker for the front of the head. So show this to you here. On the front of the head here, hopefully my camera will focus. Focus, there we go. There's that camera. Oh, it was focused for a second anyway. Maybe if I bring it closer. Closer? A little bit farther? Where's the Goldilocks zone for getting some focus here? Anyway, this part right here, you can't really see it, it's out of focus, but above the mono eye there's a little camera there. There's no sticker for that because probably, I guess just because it's too small. But I'm going to just go ahead and cut a little sticker for that out of the sticker sheet here. You have some extra space of green there, and I'm going to use that to cut us a little sticker. I think that should be about right. Let's see. Just kind of cut that very haphazardly. If it's not quite right, I can just cut another one, but I think I nailed it pretty good. Looks like it's gonna fit just about right. If I can get it in there. There we go. Alright, well, that worked. Hopefully now you guys can see this. It'll focus long enough that you guys can see that anyway. There we go. Cut a little bit of green sticker there for his head camera. DIY. Alright. There we go. So now that we have a head, now we can, let's see. I don't think I missed any of the stickers. There's a couple other stickers on here. I feel like I just want to check ahead of time where they go. Otherwise I feel like I'm going to miss where those go. One is for the shield. The other one is for the beam rifle, I guess. Yeah, okay. Alright, back to the backpack. Now that we have the head, we can put the head on the torso, looking very nice. Then stick in these soft rubber parts into the back of the head. If you guys know me, you know that I'm really stoked about having soft rubber parts in this kit, because I love that soft rubber. Not at all. That's totally a joke. But I will say, and I mentioned this in the unboxing video, guys. In the unboxing video, when you guys see that, you can hear me say this again. But the good thing about the soft rubber parts for this kit is that the mold line on them is almost invisible, and that's usually a big problem on soft rubber, especially tubing parts like that. The rubber sucks because it's almost impossible to paint, and the worst part is that it just looks bad. Even if you decide, okay, I won't bother painting and I'll just use it anyway, but it just looks bad because you can't sand it. You can't sand the awful mold line on there. But fortunately for this kit, the mold line is basically invisible, so that is good. Now we're gonna build the kind of thruster pod parts for like the back of the backpack. They're specific for the left and the right, so I gotta make sure I got the right part here. So that's there, and this guy here. Have you built any of the One-Piece boat kits? No, I have not. I haven't built any of the. Let's see what we got. That's fine. Haven't built any of the haven't built any of the One Piece ships. I don't like One Piece. It's just not something that I'm into. When I worked in Japan, my coworker was an Australian fellow, and he was in love with One Piece. He was like me, where like he wasn't really into like anime and manga and that kind of stuff like really all that much, but he had one particular thing that he really liked. Like for me, it was Gundam and like Evangelion, but for him, it was just One Piece. He wasn't really into anything else other than that. The wings work pretty similar to the RE100 kit, where you have these the lighter parts just kind of fit by just kind of squashing them into the like frame part, the kind of outer darker blue part between there. So it works pretty well. On the RE kit there was more pieces. I think it was separated into 4 separate pieces, but on this it's just the 2 pieces, one big one and the smaller one. Ultimately I won't be using these for mine. I don't like these kind of like weird butterfly or kind of like moth wings kind of things for this, for the Dijeh. It's one aspect of the design that I don't care for at all. So these will be on temporarily, but not for very long. Replacing them with springs. Yes, springs are a good option for replacing rubber tubes. I haven't ever tried painting springs though. Micromorph. Have you ever tried painting springs? I haven't. I have a feeling that would also kind of be a little bit tricky. But if you ever tried that and you have any thoughts, let me know. So that goes like that. Okay, for some reason I was thinking that the wings go on the outside of these thruster pod parts, but as you can see here on the backpack, the wings are in the center and like this like thruster unit, thruster pod kind of things are on the outside. For some reason I was thinking it was the other way around. And so that means that they really can't spread very far out at all. This is the widest that they can go. Just not very wide at all. Howdy, howdy, Andy. Yeah. So, alright, there we go. The body, head, and backpack is done. We'll go ahead and put him over here. I wouldn't really do much good to put him behind my face, then you guys can't see that, but let's maybe put him over here off to the side. Throw a knife and tools, get those out of the way, and let's build the waist section. And I think I forgot to clean up the nubs on this part. Let's go ahead and clean this guy up real quick. Alright. Not very complicated. Waist section here. Shouldn't take too long. Get back to where we were in the instructions. This part goes into there. This guy here on the front. It's kind of like 2 sets of front skirts. There's like the main front skirt, which is just these little guys. And then, let's see, no, not yet. And these kind of like side front skirts. So, like that. So that's pretty interesting. You have like multiple layers there. So, I don't know. It's very dark. So I don't know if you guys can see it all that well, and again it's kind of hard to focus that up close to the camera, but it's pretty interesting. Similar like the Gelgu, you got this kind of like, or the Dom I guess as well, this part for up underneath the back skirt. Set of thrusters there. Plugs there, and then our side skirts. We need these guys here. Never really thought about this about the Dijeh, but the skirting armor for it kind of reminds me of like old style like Japanese armor. Like Japanese kind of like samurai armor. There you go. Oh, I gotta say that the way that the skirt armor moves for this is pretty interesting. Once it's on the kit, it's definitely a lot more limited in the range of movement. The back skirt doesn't move at all, but the side skirts only move a little bit. But yeah, that double layer of front skirt armor is pretty cool. Gotta say, that's pretty awesome. So there's that part done. Yeah, nobody's hating on the Dijeh. Relax, dude. We got more soft rubber parts here for the back of the knee. So there's 3 in total for the kit. 1 for the back of the head and then 2 for the backs of the knees. So here's all the parts for one of the legs. Anyway, this would be the right leg. You're supposed to build both of the feet at the same time, actually. But we're just going to build all of the foot and feet all together for one foot. And then move on to the other foot. Polycap here for the ankle. Alright, there's that. And last, the foot goes together very nicely. No seam lines again for that, so that's nice. Hello, Gundam GP. The contest kit just came in and just pre-ordered the new Hazel. Nice one. Ness. I am assuming you're talking about your contest kit for my contest. Or is it a different contest? But I assume you're talking about my contest. Which is good. A couple of people had asked if it's going to be too late or something to enter at some point later. But it's not, don't worry. If it, even if you're just getting your kit or you're just starting out now or even a week from now, as long as you can finish by the deadline, that's the important part. I know for some people it takes a while to get a kit, so like whenever I'm doing a contest, I have to kind of take that into consideration. But I know for some people, it even like as soon as I announce the contest and they go ahead and like order something straight away, it might take a month before the kit that they want to use for the contest even arrives to them. So I try to take that into consideration and give enough time for the contest. At the same time, I can't give like 3 months for a contest. It's just kind of too long for what we're doing. For something like GBWC or something like that, where you have a year or whatever, or more. I mean, you can work. There's no limit for that really, like for GBWC, but like for something like what I'm doing, where there's like a particular theme, can give you guys like too long time to work on it. Usually people understand that, but I have had people get kind of salty in the past, complaining about it not being enough time for them to get the kit that they want. It's like, sorry, not really a whole lot that I can do. What in the... What the... Oh. Okay. Interesting how that knee part goes in there. Better put in this ankle part here before I forget as well. This guy clips onto the front. And this guy goes around here on the side. On the top like that, and bingo, bango, bongo. There you go. Very nice. I gotta say, I like the way that the leg goes together. Except for that part on the front of the leg. I want it to pop off kind of easily. This little part here on the front of the leg, it's a little bit of armor that moves up and down. Seems like it might be kind of easy to pop that off, but for the moment it's working alright. The knee bend is pretty cool. The soft rubber part is popping out though. I bend the knee. Are those different? No, they're not. Are they? I don't think so. Are those parts specific? No, they're not. Alright. Here on the back of the leg, where that soft rubber part plugs into on one side and the other, seems like it's going to more easily pop out of the one side if you're not careful. This side over here. So, kind of weird. But there we go. Now we've got the leg, and speaking of which, the tube popped out of the back of the head. Go ahead and put you back in there. Alright, so there we go. We've got a leg. Hi. Do you know if there's something like Dalong for P-Bandai kits? Well, Dalong does have a lot of P-Bandai kits. He doesn't have all of them, but he does have a good amount of P-Bandai kits there on his site. I don't know why he doesn't get all the P-Bandai kits, because like lately he's been kind of really like going in high gear and like reviewing everything. Like he's been going back and like going through all of like the old Bandai kits. He's been doing a lot of Kotobukiya kits and just a lot of stuff. So like he must be doing alright in terms of like just being able to afford everything. I don't know what he does for space, but yeah, I don't know why he doesn't do more Bandai kits like consistently. It would kind of make sense that he would, so long as he can afford it. But I don't know, it might be a space issue or something, I don't know. But anyway, to answer your question, I don't know of any other similar website like that that has a lot of Bandai kits. But I mean, if you're looking for just photo reviews of Bandai kits, I'm sure there's a lot online. And I think like HGUC probably does some or something like that. If you look for there's like any of like the main like Japanese photo reviewers. Oh, but I guess you're looking for something in English. Sorry. Or no, if there's some. Oh no, you didn't mention English, but just something like that long. So yeah, I would just look for a Japanese photo reviewer. There's probably ones out there. HGUC is the one that immediately comes to mind, but I know there's a couple other reviewers that will review like kind of everything. What are my hobbies besides Gunpla? Well, at the moment and kind of for a while now, it's pretty much just been Gunpla. Just because I don't really have a whole lot of time for pretty much anything else, and I just really love doing this. So I could make time by like spending less time doing Gunpla stuff and spend some other time doing other stuff, but I just don't really have that much free time in general, just because I have a family, and so yeah, what little time that I do have for hobbies, I just like doing Gundam stuff. So, but that said, I do also really like movies and music, like normal person things. Was really into cycling, like just riding a bicycle, something that I loved doing, but again, it's just like a matter of time, just don't really have a lot of time for that. I enjoy reading, but reading is another thing that I just don't really make enough time for these days. But that's something that once the weather starts to get a little bit warmer again, I think I really don't have a choice, and I need to get out and go do some cycling, because I don't know if you guys can tell, you probably can, but putting on some extra pounds these days. I think it's just the effects of being a dad, basically. They don't call it a dad bod for nothing. But yeah, getting a little bit more exercise time in will probably be a good thing. So there we go. I gotta say, liking how beefy the Dijeh is looking here in HG form. It's nice. It's the big skirt and then just like the pretty thick legs. It's looking pretty good, I have to say. I'm impressed so far. It's a good thing you can watch movies and listen to music while building Gunpla. Yes, that's exactly right. These days, pretty much any movies and music is also done while also doing Gunpla. Ricardo said, I've heard from a mutual friend that you biked around Japan a lot. Yeah, I did. That was like when I was like really in my prime like cycling days. Like when I was living in Japan, I was cycling a lot. I was cycling probably a couple 100 kilometers a week. And so that was also when I was like at my top physical condition. I was like a lot thinner at that time. I did a cycling trip for 2 weeks. I rode 1,000 kilometers over the course of 2 weeks from Nagoya to Nagasaki. Basically like the western half of Japan. It was a lot of fun by myself on a single speed bike. Really enjoyed that a lot. And it was really not difficult, like, at all. Like, to be honest, usually what people will ask is like, wasn't it hard or something like that, but honestly, like, the cycling, my legs weren't tired like at all, because I don't know if other people feel like this as well, but I feel like just like riding a bike, even though it's just, I mean, even if it's just a single gear bike, is not a really high energy thing, it seems like, because like you're pretty much just propelling yourself to stay in motion, so you're not always necessarily like pushing yourself, if that makes sense. You just need to stay in motion. So like riding 1,000 miles over the course of 2 weeks was not hard on my legs. It hurt my hands a lot from like the pressure on the handlebars. My hands were often in pain, and hurt my ass from just sitting on the seat for sitting on a bicycle seat for 8 hours a day, give or take. But still a very fun experience. I would love to go back and cycle all the way the length of Japan. It'd be probably closer to 2,000 miles or 2,000 kilometers. That's something that I would like to do, but it's not something that you can do when you have 2 young kids. So it's just kind of something to think about for when I'm a little bit older. That's fine. I don't think Japan's going anywhere anytime too soon. I think I've got some time before it totally sinks into the ocean. That'll be sad days, huh? What will we build? Ice raid. I ride my bike every day, and once you're at that point, it's just second nature. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just, maybe you're right, maybe it is just like once you build up like a kind of minimum amount of like muscle for that. I guess maybe like if you haven't ridden a bike in years, or if you just like never really rode a bike all that much and then you start riding a bike, it might be kind of hard, but I guess it's like, maybe you're right, maybe it's just like once you get to a certain point where you've been doing it for a while, and then it's not really much of a chore to just ride. That's a good point. And you're probably right. So, haven't really been commenting too much on the build so far because honestly the arms and legs are pretty straightforward. If you've built any recent HG, especially HGUC kits, it's nothing really too special here for the arms and legs. The torso and the skirt section were kind of the most interesting so far. But again, very similar to the HGUC E-Free, so if you built that, you know how good that kit is. And I'm not specifying which version of the E-Free just because they're all basically the same, but the non-P-Bandai version would be the E-Free Schneid, but the other versions are also sharing the same trait. One thing I will say though that is nice about the arms and legs is no seam lines except for the back of the arm. Looks like on the back of the forearm there's a seam line there. And like on the back of the leg there's a little one, but just a little guy there. But there you go. Right. Let's build up the other arm. Ness, did you hear about Cam's original mecha contest? Yeah, I did, and I'm planning to make a video about that here on my channel, just like a kind of announcement video, just to tell people very briefly about the contest and direct people to go watch Cam's video talking about the contest in full detail. So yeah, I've heard about that. It's awesome, and I want to help promote it. So probably in the next couple of days, you'll see a video over on my channel just kind of mentioning about it as well, just to let people know about it. When I said to him that I was going to be doing that, he said like he was very taken aback. But like, it's not really, it's not a big thing. It's a pretty awesome contest that they're doing, so I'm very happy to help promote it as much as I can. Did you hear about those 2 Bandai employees who got fired? Yeah. You think the unicorn could have been better if that money stolen was put into it? Yeah, I don't know if, I mean, I saw just the very minimal details because I just saw like the original Japanese article about it, and I just translated it so like the details weren't super clear. I would guess that I don't think it really affected the unicorn like all that much. Like the actual construction process, like basically it's just a guy that skimmed some money, a good amount of money. I don't want to say that it was like nothing, but I'm sure they had their plan for the unicorn. If they suddenly realized like, hey, it's missing this whole section that it was supposed to have inside there, then like I think somebody would have noticed that. I think that it wasn't early on in the designing process. From what I understand, it had more to do with like the building contractors, I believe. So that would have been late enough on in the process where I'm sure they had their plans all laid out, and if something wasn't built according to the plans, I think someone would have noticed. So I don't think it probably affected the overall construction of the unicorn, but I don't know. That's a common crime, just as you guys are probably very well aware of, that crime in general in Japan is very, very low, as it is here in Korea as well. Just like petty crime, robbery, even like violent crime and all that as well. But stuff like that, white collar crime, embezzlement and things like that is pretty common. And a lot of the time doesn't get caught, but sometimes it does, and it's usually a big story. So yeah, it was caught, and it was someone at Bandai, which sucks just because Bandai is a company that we like, but I mean honestly it's not really that big of a deal. I'm not really too into it either way. I'm not like personally hurt by it or anything, and I don't think Bandai was really that hurt by it. I don't think it's going to be like a thing that we're like as consumers that we're going to see reflected in like all of a sudden Bandai's not going to have money to put out model kits for like the next 2 months or something. There's nothing like that. So there we go. The Dijeh is done, and pretty nice, I gotta say. For someone like me who's really not a super big fan of the Dijeh, this is a pretty bomb HG kit, I gotta say. We're not entirely done though. We do still have the weapons though. They're just taken from the HGUC Revive Hyakushiki. The rifle and the bazooka anyway. Alright. How many custom builds did you screw up before getting to a decent level of scratch building skills? I wouldn't say that I'm at a decent level of scratch building skills. I'm at a beginner level of scratch building skills. And how many did I screw up? It's kind of hard to say. I've been pretty happy with like kind of almost everything that I've done. My very first like fully painted kit was pretty screwed up. It's the 1/44 scale Turn A Gundam, not the HG, but the old 1/44 scale kit. You can see photos of that on my blog, my long abandoned blog. There's photos of that there. And other than that, though, I don't want to be like, I don't want to sound like, oh, everything I've ever done has been great. Because obviously there's a progression. You get better as you go along, of course, but I don't really look at, I mean, I don't know if I've really had any builds in mind that I look back on and think, and I'm like embarrassed of. There's nothing really that I think like is really that bad. I think I've just had kind of good luck, basically, just to be pretty successful enough in, I guess, the builds that I've done. But this is another kind of topic that it can be a bad thing. I think not really necessarily a bad thing, but it's better, I think, that you're just finishing kits rather than spending too much time on a kit or completely abandoning works in progress. So, like, for example, you have a kit that you're working on for like a really long time, and you're just kind of stuck, and like you want to do something really cool with it, but you're not sure if you're going to really be able to do with it. You're not sure you're going to be able to do what you want to do with it, so you're just kind of like putting it off and putting it off. It's not really, you're not learning anything in that process, if that makes sense. So like, even if you like, okay, so for example, you feel you're not ready to fully paint a kit, so you don't. Whereas maybe you try spray painting a kit with just spray cans or something like that, and you mess up the kit. Messing up the kit, at least you learned something, and it got done, rather than it's just like not being done, and you just kind of delaying or putting off advancing your skills to where you want to go. If you don't want to, like in this particular example, if painting is not something that you're interested in, there's nothing to it. It's not a big deal, I don't think. I'm not one of those people who thinks that you constantly should be trying to improve your skills. It's the personal thing. If you want to, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. But if it's something that you want to do, then you should, try to just finish stuff rather than worrying about stuff being perfect, because just finishing things is a much easier way to get better and learn stuff. So as long as you're finishing stuff, then you're learning what you're doing right and wrong, I think. So that has been something that I've struggled with, and why I think I haven't improved as much as I would have liked to. Honestly, I don't think my skills as a modeler are where I would like them to be. I think based on like the amount of time that I've been doing it, I should be a lot better at it, but just kind of fear of messing stuff up has probably been a big thing that's held me back from advancing my skills, or just kind of being just comfortable at my current skill set and not really wanting to go out of kind of my comfort zone of things that I'm comfortable in doing. So it's a problem for me too. Like I mentioned in my video last week or something, when I talked about some of my plans for this year, and one thing that I want to do this year is work on a lot more weathering and stuff. And that is just something that I was not really comfortable with, because that is something that where I have messed up stuff in the past is like in weathering. I just haven't been happy with things that I've done in the past, and it's hard that once you do something and you mess up, that does kind of make it harder to want to try to do that again, because you kind of have that bad memory in your brain. So you just kind of think back to why do I want to do something again that I know I messed up on before, like, and potentially not do something as good as I want it to be. So that's hard to do, but I think you just kind of have to find a way to overcome that and just try it again, try to do it better. That's why it's good to have like scrap pieces of plastic, leftover parts from kits and things like that. Do your experimenting on junk that where you're not ruining a kit or something like that. It's good to do. So that's it for live streaming the Dijeh. This stream session has been just about an hour now. I didn't want to go for an hour actually, so I'm going to cut it off here pretty soon. I wanted to just go through the building of this, but that was the building of the Dijeh. I'll be back streaming again tomorrow night as well, and we'll be building the RE100 Gun Easy. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. The unboxing video for this will be coming up tomorrow, and then the review after that, so you guys can watch that and see more about it. And then, just like I said earlier in the video, I have a big stack of stuff that's in the review queue to do, a lot aside from other projects, of course, that I'm working on, the Tristan, and then I'm also painting the RE100 GP04. So yeah, busy with stuff, but that's good. So let me know what you guys think about this new format of just like prepping the kits beforehand and then just coming on and just live streaming just the snap building of the kits. I think it's good just to be able to share the building experience with you guys. I can talk about things that I may forget about later on when I do the reviews. Sometimes I may like forget about a particular moment in the building process that I really enjoyed or that I thought was interesting. I won't think to mention it later in the review, unfortunately. But doing it live is good. I can share it with you guys directly. So I think this will be a good format, and hopefully we'll try to stick to this for the foreseeable future. So that is it for tonight, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a good one, guys.